Time now to find out what is making a big splash online today. I am joined in the studio by Emma James for today's Media Watch. Hello there, Emma. And less a splash, more a great big conspiracy theory going around the internet right now. This is after Alex Jones and his Infowars site was removed from Twitter, Spotify, YouTube.
Not Twitter.
Not Twitter, sorry.
Enough.
Facebook, no. Spotify. You tell us. You
Indeed. Yes, Alex Jones and his Infowars radio shows, YouTube channels and website have lost some of their most prominent ways, really, to spread their message. It's been a debate for months. Should he be allowed a voice on social media, given that he's such a divisive character? Apple actually led the way on this one, with very quickly after Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, even Pinterest, which normally is just knitting patterns and cats.
Hairstyles.
Absolutely. All within a few hours of one another. When you consider how long this has gone on for, it does seem strange that it's all been so quick. Now, the companies have basically said that he's violating their terms, primarily by using hate speech and also bullying and sometimes even threats of violence too. Some people asking, was this a coordinated move by what they're referring to as big tech? This gentleman, though, who's a New York Times tech writer, says Facebook followed Apple in banning Infowars, giving up the game after weeks of sanctimonious lectures about free speech. This was always about being too scared to go first. And it does look like this is a real panic to follow suit when somebody's done something that they knew was going to be controversial. The conservative Washington Examiner has been looking at this too, and in their headline they use the words of the Democratic Senator Chris Murphy. Survival of our democracy depends on banning sites like Infowars because they are accused of spreading fake news and conspiracy theories. One of the ones that's most in the spotlight right now is his conspiracy theory that he believes the 2012 shooting at the Sandy Hook Elementary School never happened and that the people you saw crying were crisis actors, the parents of those dead children, well, the dead children simply didn't exist, and those that you saw crying were just actors. Now, the parents of the victims, some of them are actually suing him right now. So that is a case very much in the forefront. But it's important to point out that this is not a niche thing. Infowars on YouTube in particular, or Alex Jones's YouTube channel, has 2.4 million subscribers. So this is not a small thing at all, and it will be why so many were balking at the idea of actually doing anything about him. Unsurprising to see the reaction from RT, used to be known as Russia Today. Chilling precedent, they ask. Infowars block exposes big tech as no friend of free speech. These corporations, they say, appointed themselves arbiters of acceptable political thought. That is the view of many who see this as a way of silencing people who support Donald Trump, who support the far right. Raw Story, though, points out that it isn't just Trump supporters and the far right, it's also advocates for civil liberties and free speech who are slightly concerned about whether this could backfire. They say that this was a quick solution to a challenging situation, but there will be times where if you allow people to make these decisions, they're going to make the wrong call. And that is where you are really going to infringe on people's civil liberties. Alex Jones himself has tweeted about this, saying the censorship of Infowars just vindicates everything we've been saying. Now who will stand against tyranny and who will stand for free speech? We are all Alex Jones. But it's important to note that, of course, he is still on Twitter. He's actually gained quite a few followers in the last 24 hours. About 850,000 people follow him on Twitter now. And it's also interesting to see that although Apple were the first to take action, they still have the Infowars app available in the App Store.
And it's one of the top-ranked media apps.
It's gone up to number 4, yes.
Wow.
It was at 37 before all this happened. Now it is at number 4. So it's interesting to see how all the attention has actually increased his visibility.
And a politically sensitive time, of course, with just 3 months to go until the midterms in the US. All right, let's move on to something a bit closer to home. A commemorative plaque here in Paris has been vandalised, a crime that really suggests that Paris is not as gay-friendly as we might have hoped.
Yes, absolutely. We might be hosting the Gay Games right now, but there is still a problem with homophobia in the French capital. A plaque on Rue Montorgueil, which was actually unveiled in 2014, remembers one of the most brutal moments in Paris history. Now, this is what it should look like. It is in honour of Bruno Lenoir and Jean Diot, who died in 1750, the last two people to be executed for being gay. This is what it looks like right now. It's been covered in thick blue ink, and the message reads, words, to make a child, I'm a man and not a gay man. Now, the Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo, who was the person who unveiled that plaque, has said she is shocked by this display of shameful homophobia, just the latest one, because it's the second time it's been vandalised this year. She says this just reinforces our determination to fight discrimination, and she uses the hashtag #LoveWins.
All right, Emma, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid, but thank you very much indeed, as always. Emma James there.